If you are stuck in a plateau right now, I just want to let you know that you are normal. I want to repeat that again. If you are in a plateau right now, you are normal. It is freaking impossible biologically to continuously see progress, continuously see gains week after week, month after month, maybe even year after year. Sometimes it's as long as that it takes. There are many different things happening here. Many different things. It's not just about muscle, it's about ligaments, bone density, it's about nerves, skill, tweaking of technique. This problem is multi-layered, multifactorial problem. This thing is what we call strength training, powerlifting, bodybuilding, Olympic weightlifting. If you were to continuously, linearly improve, guys always tell me, how long you been training? I'm like, I've been training 7 years. I've been training for a year and a half, and I've only put on 20 kilos on my squat, on my deadlift. So, in 7 years' time, this person's increased their squat to 140. But we don't see that, right? People get to, let's say, double body weight squat, and then it's extremely freaking slow, squeezing out the last freaking bit of juice out of yourself to get to a 3 times body weight squat. It's like 1 to 2 is kind of relatively quick, and then it's like a major slowdown between 2 and 3 times body weight squat. It's just the way it is, right? But people think it's a plateau and it's just really bad. And then a lot of people, and this is me included, I used to load only 10 kilos to every PR attempt. So, it's a long time between drinks, between I squatted, say 200 and 210. I probably would have had 205, somewhere there in between. But that doesn't mean that you are not improving because you haven't exhibited, you haven't displayed these gains. If you're in a plateau, man, stay with it. Keep working. Work is work, no matter what. Eventually, if you have the same mentality as me, and you have this outlook about, experimentation, learning the human body, learning biomechanics, learning human movement, learning how to get stronger, eventually you will both make mental gains, intellectual gains, and physical gains will kind of follow around that. I've made a video probably 6 months ago where I actually said, hip pain solved. That was the title of the video. And in that video, I basically said, I cannot believe what I just freaking worked out. Cannot believe it. I worked out, that video spoke about it, but I worked out that the iliotibial band or the ITB, man, I still think it's profound. I learned that the glute max inserts into the ITB. So one of the biggest freaking most powerful muscles in our body inserts into a tendon, right? Into something that is not solidified like a bone, right? I always thought glutes go from like your pelvis, your sacral, and it goes into the femur, right? No, half of those freaking fibers insert into the ITB. When I worked that out, I worked out why the TFL freaking hurts. Because both the glute and the TFL insert into ITB. And so if you have imbalance or you have upset glutes, the TFL kind of gets pissed off. And so I made an intellectual gain which completely changed the foundations of my understanding of what this hip pain was. And voila, I don't know how many months removed I am from that situation. I am now pain-free and I'm freaking screaming through these gains, right? After being plateaued with debilitating hip pain, intermittent hip pain, it will come and go depending on God knows what, all these different exercises that I was doing, I finally hit the nail on the head. But this wouldn't have been possible if I chucked the tanty and freaking left and said, I have hip structure problems, my femur is 6 meters long, I can't do this, I don't have this, I don't this, everyone's on drugs, I can't do this, I'm, genetically inferior, I've hit my genetic potential, all this stuff. If you just go on crying and freaking run for the border and just leave, flee, drop your sword and shield and run the other way, if you do that, you got no chance. If you are plateaued, take it from me, I am not somebody that's like, wow, I've been at this for a long time, 7 years. Most of you guys that are listening haven't trained for that long. I've been at this for 7 damn years. My numbers are not that impressive for somebody that's worked for damn 7 years. But that's okay. Most of those 7 years I spent plateauing like I've been plateauing, just not moving. My cells are up and I'm rocking up every single day, trying to catch every bit of wind and it's completely still. The water is completely still. I have no petrol in the damn thing. There's no wind. I'm just sitting around, rocking up every single day, trying to fish, trying to do whatever the hell we're doing on that damn water, on that ship, and nothing is happening. But I still rocked up every single day. I still try to work out what's going on. I was still tweaking my whatever the terminology is. I'm not a freaking sailor. Tweaking the wind catcher thing. I can't think of the damn term. Trying to catch the wind from which direction to get going. And eventually, bam. Started this year, I had a deadlift of 220. Now my deadlift is 260, and I am confident. I've been saying this for the last month, basically. I'm so confident with the deadlift, man. I've worked out a puzzle. I worked out a piece to this puzzle. Now I reckon 270 is around the corner. They say early next year I might even be at 280. Why is that? Because I've found what the weakest link is. I've found what I need to do. I've hit that nail on the head. And shit is flying right now. After years of not improving, granted, I didn't really focus on the deadlift that much, but this is insanity. You're not supposed to put 40 kilos onto the deadlift. Not for me. Historically speaking, if I look at my logbook, man, there's never been a period where I put on 40 kilos on the deadlift. Maybe the first year of training or something like that. I'm not a freak by any stretch of the imagination. Things have come to me very slowly, but I've worked on things. If you continue tweaking, playing with different parameters of training, volume, frequency, intensity, all these types of things, keep tweaking and keep measuring, because without measuring, you can't learn. Without recording, you can't learn. You can't find trends. Eventually, you'll hit a nail on the head, and it's going to go. It's like a dam. The dam will open up, and all this water will come flushing through. 40 kilos on the deadlift in basically the last couple of months. Okay, so the gains, I found something. So if you're in a plateau, all that means is that you are right now in a holding pattern. You're just kind of holding and waiting for the right kind of message to come through, and then all of that work that you've kind of done comes forward. Because if you're squatting, if you're deadlifting, if you're doing all the things that you need to be doing, like if you're actually playing the damn sport and you're practicing these movements regularly, you might not be getting stronger, but you're still working hard. You're still working something out. Something is getting strong. You might be getting the whole freaking thing wrong in terms of, how you set up and whatever, but you're still working hard. You're still kind of pushing hard into the bar. Eventually, something will happen. You'll work something out. You'll try like an exercise. Like for me, I worked at my upper back and front squats. Really, front squats basically are the GOAT exercise for me right now. It's making my deadlift go up. It's making my squats feel amazing. And I supplement that with some T-bar rows and that pull over machine, whatever the hell thing that's called. And my deadlift is my setup in the deadlift is feeling unbelievable. I just feel so strong right now in the deadlift that I feel it, that the gains are going to come. I've found something. So let me tell you, man, you're not wasting your time if you're plateaued. There's a big kind of want. There's a big kind of, how should I say this? Need for change. There's a big the fence, the grass is greener over the fence. I should jump on that program. I should jump on this program. Or what he's doing is way better. Oh, maybe I should up my protein. Maybe I should decrease my protein. I should do this. I should do that. People are restless because people have been conditioned to think that every single day you touch the barbell, you should be stronger. Man, I don't know where that thing came from. Maybe from the world of performance enhancement, where the only difference between a 260 kilo and a 270 kilo deadlift is a couple more mils of testosterone. If you keep upping the testosterone levels, you're going to get stronger. Maybe it's come from that type of world, but in my world, natural biology is all about that freaking plateau. It's all about plateauing because it doesn't make sense. Because if you were to put on 20 kilos on the deadlift every year, you'd be lifting 50 tons in 10, 15 years. You know what I mean? Like everyone's in a plateau. And this idea, I need justification for my actions and I'm going to put on a feather on top of the barbell just so I know that there's been adaptations. Man, just keep working, man. Just keep working, keep at it, and it will come. You need to have faith. You need to say this is a long-term goal. I've been at this for 7 years, man. If you're in this for a year and a half, and you're like, I've put on, my deadlift is 180 kilos. And I expect that in 6 months' time, I'll be at 250 kilos. And Ivan's been doing all this for 7 years. I reckon I'll do all of this in 2 years. Eventually, you're going to plateau. Because how many people are deadlifting 500 kilos, right? The more advanced you get, the more this stuff slows down. Everyone's got its own kind of little leverages and genetic potential, if you want to call that term. And I freaking hate discussing genetics in this because it's like the last freaking, point of the ladder. We can discuss that, but if you've addressed 50 other freaking different points, then we can talk about that. It's pointless. It's not productive to talk about genetics. But if you addressed all of that, then we can maybe talk about genetics. But there's so many different things you can tweak, you can play with. I never thought I was going to deadlift 260 kilos. Never. Now, I had hopes of doing 300 and 300 squat and deadlift, but that's like a lofty goal, and I never kind of thought this was going to happen. And all of a sudden, these gains have come in the last 2 months like crazy. I've worked out. Lats mean everything to me. Front squats mean everything to me. Traps, all that upper back business makes me so damn solid in the pool. And all of a sudden, I've realized 40 kilos of gains, man. So that doesn't mean. So what that means is that could be another little avalanche or like a dam effect with the squat as well. Like all of my gains have kind of happened in little jumps. You know what I mean? Like nothing, boom, 10 kilos. Nothing, boom, 10 kilos. So just stay with it. I hate this idea, like I've been plateau for 6 months. That's cool, man. If you've been training for 5-6 years, what do you expect, man? What do you expect? I don't know. Like I remember reading the practical programming by Mark Ripperto and all these guys, and they're always talking about, forcing these adaptations with linear progressions, or every workout or every week, depending on your training history, put on 2.5 kilos. And then eventually, like in 2 weeks' time, you're freaking screwed because you're pushing against immovable weights. You're breaking form and then you reset. And so basically in a 4-week cycle or 8-week cycle, you spend a third of the whole thing completely either overworked or underworked. Stay patient. Why are we so damn restless? Do what you need to do, okay? You know exactly the effective dosage for this stuff. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Eventually, your biology will click. And it's weird how the endocrine system works and how everything works. It's like there are these mechanisms people think they know, but they don't really know. There are these mechanisms that just keep working and working. Like you keep kind of tickling the stimulation. You keep stimulating. You're not seeing anything. All of a sudden, it's almost like a protein gets activated and all of a sudden you're like stronger. So it's like a step loaded. If you looked at a graph, it's like a step loaded gains graph, if you will, at least for me, especially if you're natural and there's no other external factors that are influencing this graph. Dude, if you're plateaued, you're just normal. When somebody says I'm plateaued, I'm like, that's cool, man, me too. How long have you been plateaued? I've been plateauing for 32 years, man. What about you? Oh, yeah, me too, man. Oh, sick, man, fist pump. What is life other than plateau? What is it? Of course you're going to plateau, man. I don't see blokes walking around the deadlift 1 ton. Just keep working. Like for me, it's like I don't need gratification. I'm going to put on half a damn gram and that's going to tell me that I'm moving forward. Whatever, man. Whatever. Makes no difference to me. But a lot of you guys message me and you kind of, to me, it seems like you guys are sad, you haven't worked it out or whatever. Like, I've been lifting for 3-4 years and my deadlift is 160 kilos. Where am I struggling? You're not struggling anywhere, man. Just keep on working, keep on experimenting, keep on thinking about the movement, and eventually you'll find an exercise which helps you more than other exercises, and you just kind of smash that thing to oblivion. Keep smashing that thing. Eventually that exercise and its effect is going to slow down because, that particular weakness, that muscle is increased and now he's one of the stronger guys. And then you keep kind of searching for the weakest guy and you keep going. Like right now, I might get to, let's say, 270 kilos with the stuff that I'm doing right now. And then eventually I'll work out that I'm getting stuck maybe at the knee level or at the mid femur level. I can't lock out. All of a sudden it's like, okay, so my initial pull is really strong now. That used to be my weakness. Now it's the top end. So what I've got to do now? All right, let's maybe do some hip thrusts or do more back squatting to strengthen the glutes. And then voila, it's always kind of adapting, moving, and as you're progressing through this game. But this idea, I'm plateaued, I'm an idiot, I suck, this guy over there is doing so much better than me, blah, 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 blah. Screw that, man. It's you and the iron, and that's all that matters. And I've always kind of had this, I don't know, maybe I'm kind of different. I've always had this silent confidence about myself, about my ability. I might not be the most genetically gifted guy. I might be a late bloomer or whatever, but I have confidence in my discipline. I have confidence in my desire to improve. And to me, honestly, like some of you guys might think this sounds cliche as anything. I think it's just a matter of time, man. A monkey would learn how to do this shit, man. If you keep rocking up every single day, idiot or no idiot, you know, very poor intellect or you know, whatever, if you keep rocking up, man, it's just a matter of time before you work it out. That's it. You know, you keep thinking about this thing. If this is really a passion and you spend a lot of your free time thinking about how to improve, eventually those two neurons which need to connect will connect, and you'll be like, all right, let me try that. For years, I was resistant to the idea of, you know, believing all these other kind of pieces of advice that I would hear. Oh, you know, your deadlift is this, your deadlift is that. And, you know, obviously I've had 1,000 pieces of advice, and some of that advice was correct. But I worked through it, right? I worked through all these different ideas. I thought it was lats a couple of years ago. At that time, I don't think it was the lats. Now it's the lats. In 6 months' time, it might not be the lats. It might be something else. It's always a journey, man. But if you're plateaued, man, fist pump to you, bro. Like, we're in the same pool. You know, life is just one big ass plateau. And it's up to us to sort the puzzle out to kind of make it work. But the moment you work it out, guess what? The next plateau is waiting for you. The whole thing is just a plateau. Enjoy it. Catch you later. Peace out.